Welcome to Pass It On. This podcast is organized by the International Humanity Foundation, IHF, where we dive into inspiring stories of individuals dedicated to passing on kindness and hope. I'm your host, Darice, and in each episode, we'll explore the journeys of volunteers from around the globe who have joined IHF. But today, we have a special guest, Cesar Perez. Welcome, Cesar, and thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you, Darice. I feel honored to be here. It would be a pleasure to share my experience with you and to whoever is listening to us. It would be a pleasure. I'm delighted to be here, and I really hope everyone's enjoying.
Thank you. Before we dive into our conversation, Cesar, could you take a moment to introduce yourself and could you tell us about your role within IHF?
All right. I'm Cesar. I'm from Ecuador. It's a really small country in South America. Maybe people know the famous Brazil or Colombia. So we are just nearby. We are a neighbor country. And I'm coming from there. We are a developing country. So there are so much struggles in the place where I'm coming from. So then I developed this passion about like helping each other, even research. And that's my life. Somehow I was a public servant, like working for my country. And somehow I became into the academics lately. And I really like this work about the research, the development, and further the heart of the sustainable development and to make a better place. To make the world a better place for everyone. I think that's a brief of me around IHF.
Thank you, Cesar. Surely the aim is to make the world a better place. Thank you so much. So the theme of our podcast is Pass It On. So can you tell us about who has inspired you to recognize the abundance of blessings in your life and to share them with others, especially in a world where many overlook their own blessings?
Uh, Tough question though, but let's start like main blessing. I think main blessing is education, and that's why IHF is a really important organization because IHF is trying to give children a better education like all around the world. And I think that's the main blessing of everyone because not everyone is in a well position to be better education. So I really thank my parents and I thank God about giving me a better education. So I think that's the main blessing among the workers. Then it comes like understanding. Then it comes like uh, understanding each other, understanding the problems of people, and trying to help them. So I do think that's the main blessing because poor people like poor children all around the world has not this luckiness that I have had. Like went to elementary school, then high school, then a good college, and then maybe a master program degree. And nowadays I am doing a PhD uh, among the umbrella of scholarship. So I do think that's the main blessing. And I do think that's the key among societies. And that's the main problem among the developing world. So I think that's the key to make an improvement in those areas. So that's how it comes like with me like idea. Okay, let's go to volunteer, and I was researching some organizations, and I saw IHF, which main effort is to give better education to everyone. So then I joined it, and I was like 1 year. I was volunteering from home as a remote job. I was leading the grants team. So in this world of research, I really like to write for applications, for scholarships, for programs. And then I say, okay, why not writing for children, writing for centers, writing for International Humanity Foundation to achieve some grants. And grants are always better for particular programs, projects, and centers like IHF has around the world.
Oh, Caesar, your story is so inspiring. And you mentioned your parents and God. So I just want to say shout out to God and your parents. Um, your dedication to IHF's Pass It On initiative is so commendable. Why do you and other volunteers not only support this initiative but also dedicate your vacations to working for IHF?
Oh, yeah, that happened to me particularly the last winter break. As I'm telling you, I am doing a PhD in China, so it's kind of pretty far from my place. And then let me tell you, I was on pink since the last year because this PhD proposal and scholarship like got me so busy. And then I went pink on IHF. For whoever doesn't know what is pink, it's like I am passive nowadays in IHF. So I was working like 2 days ago, and I worked for almost more than a year, and then I passed to passive. But actually, at the beginning of this winter break, Carol texted me and asked me for some information, and then I told her like the history that I'm here in China and I'm doing the PhD, and I mean it's funny, like she didn't know I was in a pink mode. She didn't know I was passive, and then she realized it. But even though I helped her with the information, and after telling her the history, she said, or I said, I don't really remember who brought that up. Like, why don't you go to the Bali Center? And that rings a bell to me, and I say, why not? Because I'm pretty far from my place, from my country, and the tickets are so expensive from over there. And even though IHF provide me as astounding help to go to Bali, and I said, okay, I'm going to spend the winter break in Bali Center and try to reopen the center because it was closed since COVID-19 breakup. So that was the history. So I took one of my very first best friends over here in China, who is from Colombia, and we said, okay, why not? Why don't you go to Bali and try to reopen the center, try to make things working again? And even though we heard like Bali was a really nice place for taking a rest, we were exhausted about our first semester here in China, and then we say, okay, let's go right away. And even though our main idea was like working, and even though we had some issues to attain like studying, so that's it. We really enjoyed the time over there, like working, even though, but we also studied over there. And traveling and helping people really is really good. Like I'm really passionate about like knowing other cultures and helping other people and knowing other people see the problems over there, so maybe there are the same problems as in my country. And further, I was really eager to know how it was IHF doing the work, like in place, like in the territory, because I was always working as I told you, like remote job, like from my home. So that's it. It was a really outstanding opportunity uh, to be productive in my vacations. Productive both sides, like IHF won, the community won, even though I won. I really had a great time over there.
Uh, Thank you so much, Caesar, for all the work you've done for IHF, the children. Was so grateful. And you're amazing. IHF's mission for children and people worldwide is profound. Why do you believe this mission is important, and what valuable lessons have you learned from your experiences with IHF?
Well, as I told you at the beginning, I really believe education is the key. So that's the main point about IHF, with the centers in Kenya and in Indonesia and in America as well. So I do think, I do believe that's the key. So that was the main point why I joined IHF. And even though the values on IHF is like giving giving to others and sharing to others, it's one of the another key role playing among communities and among society to pursue development. So that's it. I do really believe that that's the main mission. And even though children are the future, and society has the hope in children. So it's really, really a starting point, trying to achieve better days in the future.
Thank you, Caesar. Surely children are the future. Handling overwhelming news and challenges can be a lot. How do you personally cope with feeling overwhelmed by the world's problems? There's just so much going on in the world. So how do you deal with that? How do you cope with that?
Uh, well, that's a really, really tough question. And I'm already a little bit grown up in my life. And so I have been passing like too many stages. When you're really youth, you want to make the revolution, but times passing and you try to switch the mind. But I do really believe when we're young, we need to make that passion more productive in a really good way. But we only do not need only the youth and the energy. We also need to be intelligent about it. So my main advice to the youth is like, all right, take that energy, take that effort, take that passion for make a revolution and change the world. But at the really same time, try to study as much as possible and to think the better way, smart way in this world. Because as you say, like political issues and economic issues play a tremendous role among. And main point, which is bringing inequality everywhere around the world, and selfishness in different parties. So I always used to feel overwhelmed about it. But what I'm trying to do is like trying to be productive and think like the small amount we can do, like I don't know how to say this phrase in English, but I'm gonna say in Spanish. Uh, de un pequeño grano de arena se puede hacer mucho. It's like small things can make the difference. So I'm trying to think that, so that give me peace when I am overwhelmed about it, and I'm trying to be productive uh, if, even on my own work for my family, for my beloved ones, and even though try to be productive and do job stuff, work for other ones, like as a volunteering for IHF. That's it.
Thank you so much, Caesar. I hope everyone listening, you're so wise, get to pick something from what you've said, because I'm sure I have. I have picked a lot from what you said. Thank you so much for sharing. So, based on what you said something about energy. The video you sent to me earlier today, it was video of you in Bali, in the I
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah, the IHS center in Bali. I watched it. I was really so into it. It was so cool. And just seeing what you're doing for everyone, like, I was just so
Oh
happy.
yeah, yeah. That was a really good experience. I try to do that when I feel overwhelmed. Trying to enjoy the life as much as possible, like everywhere in any condition. Try to be present means like trying not to be worried. Because as the question you told me, like all the world is like sometimes it feels like falling apart.
Mm.
But even though life is for being happy, and try to attain those points, those works or whatever activity it makes you happy, and trying to enjoy it. That's what I tried to do in Bali, because even though the conditions weren't so good, but I was aware about it, and I say, okay, let's go. Let's try to make, even though a small thing, but maybe in the future, maybe small things will become great things.
Yeah.
So that was it.
Okay. Still on the video you sent to me earlier today, I saw a video of you working out. So that brings me to this next question that says, self-care is crucial, especially during busy periods. So now, how do you prioritize rest and make time for yourself when you feel exhausted? Is it just the working out, or is there something else? Because I'd really love to,
Oh
know.
yeah, yeah, that's a really good question, and I realized, like, lately in life, like, the very main point is, like, you have to feel yourself happy to give the others that happiness, or to make other happiness, like IHF want to share work, want to volunteer. So individuals, like, we cannot give the others like our best if we are not happy with ourselves. So that's what I realized, and then I'm always looking for our own time. So whatever it brings you passion to you, like, maybe some people like to read, maybe some people like to work out, maybe some people like to do any other job. So you really need to keep some balance in your life, and you really need to have your own time for enjoying your life, for enjoying yourself. So that's the single way you can be the best for other ones, and you can share to other ones. Even though now at this time I realize, like, brain even needs that, because uh, sometimes I really feel like brain doesn't want to work, and so it means, like, brain needs other activities like working out. That's one of my favorites. Like, I really love sports, so whichever sports is available, I'll take it. Like in Bali, there wasn't. I was trying to jogging, and I was trying to do other stuff, but there wasn't anything available. So I just recycled the chairs, and we got other weights over there, and we just try to make fun of it. And even though that's one thing we really love, so that brought uh, more fresh air and oxygen to the brain, so we can keep working a week, or we can keep the pace, like studying or whichever other stuff that it. So if you cannot give happiness to other ones if you're not happy with yourself, so try to look for that time and try to do whatever it brings that to you. That's it.
Thank you so much, Caesar. Um, so the next question is about money. I know it's a very delicate, conversation, but would really love to know as well what you think about this. So money management and maintaining a positive appearance on a budget can be challenging. What advice do you have for managing finances while still looking presentable?
Oh, that's a really good question. And you know what, I was discussing with one of my friends recently, and we were discussing how the time passed by, and how you get mature, and what are your priorities among the age. So nowadays I am already 36 years old, kind of getting mature at this time. And we were discussing like this 10 years ago, like money was our main priority. Money, being good looking, trying to achieve more money, brand new clothing, even though expensive brands, something like that, brand new shoes and stuff, blah, blah, blah. But nowadays, I really think that's not the main goal which I want to achieve. Even though money is important, that's not a discussion. Money is important.
Yeah.
for having your comfort, or for having your meal every day. But nowadays, in my personal point of view, it's not the main goal. Main goal nowadays, it could be like happiness, it could be like sharing to others, trying to share my best. I do think like I'm just learning it, because I was so selfish in the past, and I heard so many people about it, like being selfish or like thinking only for my own. But it's never late to change, so that's what I'm trying to do. And money is not one of my priorities nowadays, really. As long as my beloved ones, we have a good meal in the table, uh, good education, of course, as I keep telling you.
Yeah.
But if I would be like a millionaire, I would like to be a millionaire only because to help other people, to do some good to the others, not like for me, because when you die, you don't take any money out of this world. And even though money doesn't bring happiness at all, and you could tell that, and you could see that like everywhere. It's like maybe like short time happiness for a short period, and maybe that people is empty inside. So that's not our one of my main goals nowadays. But even though it is important, so we have to keep working, but try to keep a balance among that topic, because it's really tricky. It's really tricky, and we need to be like cautious,
Yeah.
handling it and managing it. Furthermore, I just want to say, try to remember that money was an invasion. It wasn't in this world like since the inception of humanity. So it's a really good topic to think about it and to have a discussion. That's it.
Thank you so much, Caesar. So, I think we have 8 minutes to go. So my last question is, what are your dreams for the future? What are your dreams? What are your inspirations? Just briefly.
All right. I have a couple of dreams, but let me do not miss none of them. Let me. I have a note, but my main goal is, well, I don't have it. It doesn't matter. Main goal of my dreams is like pursuing happiness and real happiness. And I don't really know what it is, but every day what makes you happy. So try to pursue that. Second thing is like I really wanna be involved or like working in the academics. I really like to teach, and I know my country has a really lack of education issues. So I would really like to foster over there educational programs, or trying to change the reality over there. So that was one of my mains about pursuing a PhD, and even though to come back to my place and trying to achieve better days of my place. Further, I will really live like in frugality later, of course, with no money issues. But one of my dreams is like to live nearby the sea, to have a boat, maybe go fishing and eating whatever I fish or I harvest from my yard. I guess that's it.
Well, Caesar, I'll be waiting
Oh,
for.
I'm forgetting this one. One of my main goals also is like to know the 5 continents all around the world.
Oh,
And I wanna see them, and I wanna know the culture over there.
okay. Okay, well, I hope all your dreams and inspirations come to pass. I'll be rooting for you, like I said earlier. And thank you so much for, honoring me with your presence. I'd really love to chat with you more. I feel like there is a lot you have to share, but, time. But I know that somehow, we're going to have to do this some other time. And thank you so much for sharing your inspiring insights and experiences with us today. Your dedication to passing on kindness and hope is truly commendable, and we are so grateful for you and everything you've done and accomplished for IHF. We wish you all the best in life. Is there anything you'd like to say to our viewers? Just briefly.
I'm just want to say thank you to you, Darice, for this opportunity. It's my really first podcast, and I do think it's the very first podcast of IHF. So I really feel honored, and I hope everyone enjoyed this conversation. I really want to wish you good luck with the rest of the podcast, and I really want to thank IHF. I really want to thank you and thank God for this opportunity, and hope to encourage everyone who's hearing us to do more volunteering job all around the world and try to do small things for changing this world, which at the end of the day is going to be a huge help to everyone.
Thank you so much, Cesar. Such a pleasure. Okay, and that wraps on our first episode of Pass It On. Join us next time for more uplifting conversations and stories of compassion. Until then, remember to pass on kindness wherever you go. This is Pass It On by IHF. And Caesar, say bye to our listeners.
Bye bye, everyone.
Bye.
Blessings to all of you.